everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 170 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players here today. Same as always, we have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. I think I'll go ahead and jump right into the recap so we can get back into things because we're in such a fun little forest having a fun little time. Like I said, the party is currently inside of a subsection of Dem Woods referred to as the Brushwood, which is an area that members of Keldon Nix's community, where they live in Dem Woods, does not navigate to. It is sort of like a you go in there, you're going to have a terrible time, which I think everybody here can be like, yeah, this has not been my favorite time. As you have entered in this space to accomplish a few goals, depending on who you are, depends the rank of the items, these quest goals. One of them being to find Roshan's sister Rose, who he summoned with a wish, and the wish said, "Watch this shit," and just was like, "Dem Woods, but over there," and gave him finger guns and was like, "You're welcome."
Oh, you wanted D's Woods? You said Dem Woods, though.
I'm sorry. You saw it happen, so technically it was where you were. Anywho, you're welcome. And the wish fell space away. Whoosh. Anywho, one thing, find Rose. The next thing, probably go interact with the lurk, the shambler. The shambler. Guys, spoiler, it's the shambler. You guys got me. The
Next thing you're
Sommler
gonna
of the
tell me is
brushwood.
that it's the hash-slinging slasher.
It could be. Oh no, I'm erasing something rapidly in my notes. This entity that is supposed to be the embodiment of the forest. Some people believe that this may be a hag-like entity, and that it is a possibility that this entity would know how to deal with Nyx's curse, either from just basic knowledge of being a hag, or because they are the one who put the curse upon Nyx. Unclear. But it's the next best place to look. Also, you know that the hag is open to deals of some variety because Keld's father had a deal with the hag to save Keld's life. And your father had worked hard to make sure you did not go into the woods, and is like, "You're an adult and stronger than I'll ever be, and I believe in you, and I'm not going to stop you from going in if you're prepared." And gives you his blessing, even though your parents are terrified that the two of you are going into the woods. I think those are our main focuses, is Rose, the curse, and like maybe Keld can be like, "Hey, what's up?" if it seems important. And also if you happen to stumble across water crimson, a plant that is known to populate in doldrums, for a friend that you would like to keep a friend, and acquire that, maybe get some poison out of it. But at this moment, you have made your way into the brushwood and already can feel the oppressive energy in the space affecting you negatively mentally. Every time that you look kind of outwards from yourself and the group into the woods to either do a perception check or to lead the team forward, you are fighting against the darkness that creeps into your mind. And some people have been affected much more aggressively than others. Some have yet to feel the pull from whatever is out there. Some are feeling it quite aggressively. And your father warned you about this, and your very well-mannered father was like, "I was about to throw hands with my best friend, and I was in there for maybe 3 days." And you all are currently moving at half speed because Roshan is exhausted. You do not know how long this travel will be. But you push forward, you struggle against the elements and giant waves of moths and these nasty little corrupted monsters. And one of those is taken care of for you by a nasty seeming construct that comes from the woods and causes a bit of a problem. And once it is felled, it turns into a cloak. And this cloak now lays pinned to the ground by a spear, and then the spear voips back over to Nana. So Keld, you are just next to this this dark cloak laying on the ground. Roshan, you are still prone on the floor. This pain sort of like electricity, like shocks moving through your body. We are still in initiative. We are at the top of the initiative order. Fen, it is your turn. The thing is felled. You see none of the other creatures moving. This cloak lays there on the ground. Roshan fell over, as you've seen yourself and Nana do. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Fen would like to attempt to help Roshan.
How are you doing that?
Gonna put my cloak over my mouth and walk to him, so I'm not trying not to inhale whatever this nasty miasma is, because
Sure.
it ain't good.
So you're just going over to Roshan.
I'm just going over there to assess what's wrong with him. If I get there and he's unconscious, then I will use a second level cure wounds. But
you get there, he is currently conscious.
All right, I will help him to his feet.
Okay, you start trying to help Roshan stand. Is that your turn? Okay. Roshan, you are currently laying on the ground, and you can feel somebody is like trying to like assess you or pick you up, and pain racks through your body. It's pulsing like shocks through your mind to your joints, causing you to shout when you don't want to, causing your knees to buckle when you do not wish to. And you feel this pain and this fear that begins to creep up as gray begins to cloud the edges of your vision, as you know darkness is rapidly approaching you. Unconsciousness is around the corner, and you feel like these kind of rough hands trying to pull you up, and you feel warmth. You can feel someone stroking your hair, like they're laying in the snow next to you. Save your strength, little thing. Close your eyes. They will open again and again and again. What are you doing on your turn, Roshan?
So, can you tell me how the psychic damage is presenting? Like, is he hemorrhaging? Is he coughing up blood? Is he, or is it just?
It's more in like the it's more kind of in the electricity category. There is no visible on the outside. It is like only like watching you spasm is like, okay, he's being affected by this, is really what's telling.
Yeah, so I think Roshan, he was afraid of whatever the cloak was, and that fear is replaced with a fear of dying because he's got 8 hit points and he can't shake this poison. So he will do a little bit of healing word. Probably won't save him from the poison. Sure won't. That's 6.
You hear the thing, whatever is next to you. It's kind of just on the edges of your vision where you can't see it, but it is an entity that is like intertwined with you, and you hear like tutting. After you cast this spell to heal yourself, it tuts.
I think Roshan's trying to ignore whatever that is because he's hanging on to life by his fingertips, and unfortunately he just doesn't have anything else he can do. No more healing magic, so I think he just kind of says help, and in a scared voice, and then that's the end of his turn.
How many hit points do you
have? 14.
Too late for me to cast Cure Wounds on him if he says help?
We're in initiative.
Okay, all right.
We are fully in initiative. Roshan, you are able to squeak out a help, hearing this tutting when you cast this tiny bit of healing on yourself. and you fall unconscious.
Instead, I fall to 1 HP as Keld's death ward saves me from going down all the way.
And you hear a voice. And again, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, we're gonna do it this time, I bet.
With disadvantage.
Yeah. That's a 2.
Okay. You are still affected by this, and any progress Fen had it trying to like sit you up, you immediately like spasm and fall over. You're just down again. But you're sitting at 1 hit point. Good for you, bestie. Nyx, it
Yay!
is your turn. Keld, you are on deck.
Boy said he needed help, so let's send him some healing. Not a full heal. You don't need that.
I don't have enough hit points.
You don't
I
have enough
literally
hit
got
points to do that.
half of the hit points of the heal spell
Yeah.
total.
But I will use my 5th level slot.
Wow, you probably don't need to. That's probably more than enough.
It's only D4, so not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
$26 back. Rolled a lot of
Okay.
4s, actually.
Nice.
Roshan, you feel like once again, there's not really like injuries to heal per se, but you can feel just like more of a hardiness returning to you, even though you know you can at this moment not reach your peak health. But you are at least feeling more stable than 1 hit point.
Great.
Anything else, Nyx?
Wait, is the forest starting to catch on fire? From
Yeah,
him?
it seems that there is some fire that's like, it's like if this is left unattended, maybe it could be a problem.
All right, we're gonna keep an eye on that.
Okay, you take a glance over at that and just kind of acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Keld, you're up.
He would like to also give some attention to Roshan. Is it? He'd kind of like to look him over and see if whatever is ailing him is something that could be helped with, like lay on hands.
Lay on hands is for disease and poison.
Yes. Like a 5-point spend of that covers What kind a of disease or a disease does this poison. guy?
I don't know where I just fucking went. This was a useless place to go.
Where are
Um,
you?
I don't know, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving. If it
Wait, what?
is poison centric or a disease centric, go ahead and roll me medicine. You have disadvantage because you have a level of exhaustion. Everybody has disadvantage on all skill checks currently. That's just where everybody is.
Noted. Medicine. I got a 15.
You did not get to experience exactly what everybody else did. In the category of poison and disease, you don't think it's a disease. It's a 50-50 shot in your mind if it's poison. But like watching the way he's like reacting, you're like, I can't think of poisons that have done this.
Right.
But it could be, but you are unsure. You can use 5 points of lay on hands to just try, but you don't know if it'll do anything besides give hit points.
Yeah. I think I'll do that just to give it a shot. Better
Okay.
safe than sorry. Plus 5 hit points is still good.
What does your lay on hands look like, Keld?
It's gonna look very So like where I touch, I'll touch his arm, and a soft light comes from my hand, and it sort of like traces up his arm, sort of in like a vine-like pattern.
Mm-hmm. These vine-like patterns sort of shift and move across the body and kind of lay into this, like into his skin, like the nervous system. Like that is what they are trying to cling on to and do something about. And the light dissipates. Roshan continues to like lay on the ground and seems to still be struggling, but now has a few more hit points.
Hey. Worth a
Anything else, Kel?
try.
Mm-hmm.
I also just kind of wanted to glance at that cloak to see if it had any sort of discerning features on it.
You could use like an action to go like examine it, but currently you could be like, that's a cloak. I can see that. uh that's kind of where you are. You'd have to use more focus to
Yeah.
like fully examine it.
All right, we'll see how we're feeling next turn.
Okay, Nana, you're up. You vibing?
I mean, well, there is a forest fire currently
Yeah,
in active
that's true.
progress.
There is a little
I
bit of a
am-
forest fire. There are some corrupted bodies.
You know, so like we can take care of two birds with one stone and then put out the stone and it'll be fine. So Nana will begin on the process of trying to like tamp back the flames enough to where it's controlled, and is trying to like gather up corpses for burning as well.
Okay, Nana's like, Roshan has the whole team.
The entire team. The entire team. And Nana has what? A good berry.
Yeah, here's your
What's
one
that
hit
gonna
point, champ. High
fucking
five.
do anyway? I'm just saying. Y'all have that. I'll start on this.
Okay, Nana goes over and begins to try and like, it's not crazy, but it, it
No.
was a fireball that
Yes.
was unleashed in the space. So there are
It was.
small fires that need dealing with. So you
Yes.
go and deal with them.
Yes.
You begin that journey. Fen, you are up.
Seeing that Roshan is in more capable hands than his, he's gonna go help Nana take care of some of these bodies.
Okay.
Including the construct, whatever the hell that was, and yeah, just help Nana clean up.
Okay. 1 second.
How different are these things from like corrupted stuff we've fought previous to this?
I mean,
like
these wolf-like entities scream corruption to you.
that's the vibe I had. Yes.
That cloak
But-
is just a cloak that you are looking at right now. It is just a piece of fabric on the ground.
That's
that is
weird.
currently. Fen, the second you lay a hand on one of these disgusting bodies, give me a Constitution saving throw. As you can feel your stomach roil and your throat tighten up. There you go. You vomit in your mouth, don't get me wrong. But you push through at this time because you're like,
I'm
what?
feeling
But-
so much better, guys.
I believe you.
goes
Nana's not
cross-eyed
gonna
for
be
half a
super
second.
close to Fen in case he pukes, because by God, she might puke if she sees him puke. So,
In the background, just people vomiting while we're
oh
just going
God.
through it in the foreground.
I mean, he
and
doesn't need that
is
up
this,
next to
Family
him
Guy?
anyway.
You go over and start helping Roshan back at it again. You can feel that energy just still laying next to you, and it is, even though it is a bit condescending, there is comfort in the warmth from it. And it just lays there next to you.
I think Roshan will ask a question of the shadow, so kind of directed at nothing. But asks in a panic, what do I do? And after After that, can I hold my bonus action till after I take damage?
No.
Damn.
Golly.
Then I'm done.
um, you ask, what do I do? And you, instead of hearing that fluctuation of octaves, it is all 3 octaves laying on top of each other. And you hear, breathe. And you hear that feminine octave also mixed in with it.
Well, I guess Roshan will try.
Okay.
Does that change anything of the roll?
No.
Okay.
It does not. Let me give you some dabblage first.
Love that. And I get a +2 because Keld is here.
Yep. You take 10 points of damage, of psychic damage, and go ahead and roll your Constitution saving throw with disadvantage, +2 from Keld.
Oh, Jesus. Another 2. So
Okay,
a 5
we're still in it.
total.
Hey guys, we're in it. And we go on to the next. Nyx, you are up. Keld, you are on deck. Roshan's still struggling, but he is currently stable.
Yeah, but these other 2 people, they got this fire thing handled now.
That seems so.
So I think Keld and I are on team. Make sure Roshan doesn't die.
I think that's a good divvying of talent and resource allocation. Yes, yes.
Yeah, we'll start going through these first level spell slots. So
Mm-hmm.
You can't die. I need to fuck with you some more.
you get 10 back.
Wow.
Hey, that undoes the last round.
Hooray!
You know, this sickle man with this extra die every time.
Lovely.
Okay. I need you to roll better. I need you to get it together. Nyx, I'm gonna assume that's your turn unless you tell me otherwise.
No, we're just helping this
Yeah.
person.
Keld, you're up.
Roshan, how are you feeling?
Roshan is panicking on the ground, but his
Hmm.
body looks pretty much fine.
I don't know how to help him.
I don't know if you have anything. Keld's
Is
need to help
Roshan
is
making
prevalent, but
saving throws right now?
he is.
Then I'm going to bless him.
Okay. You give him bless, and that adds a D4 to saving throws.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to get a +2 and a D4 on your next turn.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Keld, you rack your brain and you see that your sister is healing, and you realize you cannot stop the effects of what is happening, but you can make Roshan stronger. You can embolden him that way, and that's what you do. That is your turn, Nana and Fen. Are you guys just putting out fires and gathering corpses and like on damage control in the background?
Fires corpses, trying not
Yeah.
to puke.
Then
Yeah.
he'll pick up as many of his arrows as he can get. He'll probably,
Yeah.
and just burn corpses.
Okay. I was gonna make you every round roll for this corpse thing, but that nat 20 changed my mind. It changed my
Yes.
mind. Roshan,
Mm.
it is now your turn.
Fight it, Roshan.
We believe in you.
Is there anything you
I
want to
just-
do on your turn?
I remembered that I have Bardic Inspiration that doesn't help me.
Yeah, like good job, everyone else.
Yeah, no. Nope, nothing else that Roshan things to do.
Yeah.
Um,
You feel once again like you've given up on standing up. It's you will fall
Yeah.
down. But that energy next to you, an energy of 3. Either you fight this or you wait it out. Pain eventually ends.
I think Roshan has like grabbed Keld's cuff and is just holding on really tight, and I think he takes a big breath and tries to hold himself still through the shocks through his body, and
Okay.
hopefully it'll end.
And he takes 13 points of psychic damage. Go ahead and roll.
Great. Oh, perfect. I finally rolled both above 10. 14 plus 3 is 17.
The DC was 12. Uh, and you push through, holding onto Keld and breathing and focusing, and it dissipates from your body. It was never something permanent, no matter what happened. And you are able to kind of fight against these spores that had entered, and were just firing off different synapses, and you feel your body relax. We are out of initiative.
Um,
Thank goodness.
I think Roshan is still for a number of seconds until he can like count his heartbeats again and is not actively hurting. And then a couple seconds more, and his face turns red, and he's probably shaking, but tries to get back up to his feet, and seeing the remnants of a forest fire says something like, sorry, we should put this out.
Okay. How are we
Already on it.
dealing exactly with the forest fire, and how are we dealing with the corrupted bodies?
We're
There are
trying to drag
3.
the. I think we're trying to drag the bodies into the fire that existed, and
And to
then
try and like
Yeah.
control the fire, wall it off from spreading further, like tamp it down as much as we're able into a controlled burn for the corpses.
Somebody give me a straight survival check.
Roshan would like to help by putting out the extra fires with some control water.
Okay.
Change the frost on the ground into liquid water and douse.
26 to survival. Oh, should that have been with disadvantage?
I said a straight roll.
Oh, okay.
Since you're getting
you all are
help.
working together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what'd you get?
26.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
This is something you were able to do. It's going to take time, especially if you plan to stay and put out this fire. You're going to be here for a minute. But because all of you are actively having to control a fire, will not count towards a rest. We have to focus on this for an extended period of time. Probably at least close to an hour to get things to what you need.
Where are we at with our daylight?
You have a few hours left. You have time. You had your moth problem. I think this is the best way, at least in my mind, to explain the timelines. We are doing things in legs of the journey. There is another leg after this. So you have one more leg of journey left today. before the
Okay.
sun sets. Before you must settle down or try to push forward. But because your roll was so high, it's an hour is very generous on getting this done. Burning 3 icy corpses. But you are able to focus on that. Is anyone keeping watch while this happens? Or are we hoping for the best?
I think Fen
Nana's
is
on
more in the. Oh, good. Yeah, Fen is on corpse duty as well. He's like, there might be more things out there, but if these things stand back up, we've got
Mhm.
immediate problems. So
Yes. And also, it's real stressful looking out there.
Yeah. I
It's
think
very
Kild will
stressful.
encourage everyone to focus on the fire.
Yeah, I'm just
Mm.
sitting here ready to create water to put out the big fire at the end, so it's done when we need to be done.
Perfect.
Mhm. So there's also just like currently this cloak laying there unless you guys want to do something with it, but like it's not moving. It's not even that weird looking at first glance or maybe a further glance, but it is
I
just
wanted to look at it.
you can go look at it.
It
I will
did
go
used
look
to
at
the
be
cloak.
something that was attacking.
Yeah. And now it's a piece of fabric on the ground. Keld,
Hmm.
you go ahead and give me investigation with disadvantage. Nyx, when you glance at the cloak, your brain sort of like kind of like shuffles through the Rolodex. And I mean, you've recently seen a cloak, but it was dark and you were not able to make details. And a lot of people wear cloaks, but this is a dark colored cloak. You'd have to
So-
like really try to rack your brain or like really investigate it to see if you think it is a cloak you saw recently.
I'll go help him with that then. It's a mystery.
Okay. Both of you give me disadvantage rolls because I feel like you both are in different places of observing it. What'd you get, Keld?
15.
Okay.
Okay, what am I? What am I adding? Or
Investigation.
okay, 13.
Okay. Keld, picking it up, you expect more when you pick it up and examine it and look over it. It looks kind of worn. Looks like it went through it. It was something else at one point. It is torn. It is covered in your blood. It is covered in probably other creatures' viscera. It is just a nasty piece of dark fabric. And you do note that there is some new stitching on it, but that does not mean much to you. But you note that the stitching looks newer. Nyx, a dark cloak is a dark cloak. You don't know. But it
Man.
does look gross. This one does look kind of gross though.
I'm gonna point out the stitching to her though. Like, what's that about?
So is it like it was repaired type of stitching?
Um
Or just like,
It's not like
what
Embroidery?
is
initials.
this? What kind of stitching?
it is neither embroidery nor does it look like it is repairs.
Hmm.
And I can't make out any like design, like a letter or anything.
You can roll Arcana if you'd like to with disadvantage.
Is it
Sure.
magic stitching?
I
Is
just
this
wanna
stitching
see.
magic?
I'm
Shaking
just
the
Bro,
cloak.
Sean,
curious.
is it magic?
I rolled 2 2s.
Perfect. Um
Wait,
it's weird stitching.
Hmm.
No rhyme or reason to it for you.
I don't know
Weird.
what it means.
Neither.
certainly a thread to follow.
Hmm.
Follow it where?
Shakes it at the sky.
I mean, guess wherever that thing came from. Was it carrying it?
not sure.
Keld, as somebody who was standing in
Right
front of
next
it
to
for an
it.
extended period of time, that thing was naked as the day it was birthed from hell. And you watched it turn into a cloak.
Oh.
I see. So what I remember is it wasn't wearing it, but when you stabbed it, it turned into this. Because I would have noticed this cloak if it was wearing it.
Mm. It's weird.
Sounds like
If-
some weird magic.
If there's a hag out here, they're probably strong enough to create something like that.
Hmm.
Animate a creature out of a piece of clothing?
You can make a creature out of less if you use summoning spells.
Oh,
That is true. I could do that.
what?
Ben side eyes and goes back to burning bodies.
Mm.
Uh,
I mean,
you guys focus on that, and after about 45 minutes, you are able to, and then just a big splash of water goes across the
Mhm.
For
fire, and
10 gallons.
it is
woo!
comes across. You are able to deal with the fire, though you know you are painfully aware that you set a large fire in the middle of a quiet, dark forest. So that is something you take note of, and you are actively all trying not to look anywhere. So you're like, if you're gonna come kill me, because I'm not looking. I'm tending a fire. Thank you. But you deal with that. What are we doing?
Roshan, how are you feeling?
Loaded question. I'm as good as I can be.
Is everyone in condition to march on? Do we need to take a
Yes.
rest on top of this? Do we risk resting now and not making as much progress before nightfall?
We don't need to wait for me, so let's
Nana, how
Let's-
are you feeling?
I just need to lay on hands a
I'm
little
alright.
bit and I'd be good.
I'm okay, honestly.
All right. Does anyone want to take lead?
I can keep doing it. I've been fine.
Guess that makes it my turn to keep an eye out. Everyone else, I suppose, get as much rest as you can while we move.
Okay. And we begin to trek forward. I'd love a disadvantage survival roll from Nyx and a disadvantage perception check from Fen.
This is 2 times in a row I've gotten a nat 20 on these disadvantage rolls,
Wow, look at that.
but still an 18.
17.
Did you both get 17? Is that
I
what
got
was?
18.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I could only hear the teen part of yours, and I'm like, did it line up? Neat. Wisdom saving throws, please, from Nyx and Fen.
Are any of them near Keld?
I mean, how near do we have to be?
I mean,
10 feet.
I'm already at 30, so for my roll, I think I'm okay.
Holy
Well,
shit, bud. Yeah, you're
wow.
fine.
Keld, roll me a d6.
Look. Three.
Three.
Okay. Fen gets the +2.
Nice.
Okay. That makes it a 19. No, 18.
Okay. Then while you're keeping an eye out and walking and making the choice to look into the darkness, you can feel that rumble in your stomach. And you can feel that nausea coming in waves. And it's almost a squirming sensation you feel like in your body. There is a little piece of your mind that is like, I might be infected with something. There may be something under my skin or in my gut. You feel like there may be worms inside of you.
I was in a worm before, and now I've got worms in me.
Ugh. um, any hit points
Shouldn't do
regained
that.
through non-magical means such as resting, spending hit dice, or second wind are halved.
Fuck.
So, Fen, you can feel that you can feel that you are rapidly approaching something that is past feeling unwell, that there is something worse on the horizon, and you have to take stock of that. That this seems to be getting worse, and you don't know how much worse it can get. So, something to keep in mind as you push forward. Nix, you push forward. Fuck the darkness. Fuck this place.
This place is fine.
Absolutely suck it.
This is my
Guys,
home.
if
My
you
home
just
turf,
l-
babe.
Yeah, if you just live near these woods, it's fine.
Yeah, did I?
It's just the home team advantage. That's all it is. If we were from here like you guys, we would be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. You all continue to push forward. Fen coming to the realization, he's like, I am full of worms, and I know that can happen because Nana was full of worms. And so it's like you can't even like kind of like there's part of you that's like, why would I? But it's like the other part that's like, oh, why wouldn't you? So you're kind of in that headspace. You continue to push forward to the next leg of your journey. And you guys are thumping through the woods at an incredibly slow pace, slowly dragging yourselves through the woods. Nix, what is your technique to get people moving forward safely, quickly? What are we doing?
Safely, because
Yep.
somebody almost died recently. They all seem to be struggling so much.
Nix, there's a moment where you look back and everybody except Kel looks fucking awful.
I think she's considering that when they stop, she might open a tree and offer to send them back.
It's like, you guys want to go? Go home.
Hey, maybe it's for the best.
Nix, that's something you take into account for like, hey, maybe when we stop, maybe we should talk about this a little bit.
Maybe we need to talk as a team.
You're making your way forward, and Fen, it's kind of hard to hear over like the rumble in your stomach and like the kind of pounding of blood in your ears when like the fear kicks in, but you're like, I can see so far in the dark. I have to do something. I gotta focus. And a moment where you sort of like are able to catch your breath and there is not this just like pounding in your ears. You hear a loud thump far in the distance. Something very big is out there.
Finn will give a tug on the rope. There's something large out there. or something big fell, or worse. Like, can I get an idea? Is it directly the way we're going?
So if you're going like this way, it kind of sounded like it was this way. So it kind of sounds like you're like kind of Ving away from it. So you're not heading towards that sound.
That's good. That's good.
I think that it's off to the northeast. We should be mindful of things in that direction. And just keep an ear out. I haven't seen anything. I just heard it.
Okay. We definitely don't want anything bigger than us noticing us.
Did anybody bring any Pepto?
Pepto what?
Oh, this magic potion we had in Briarheart is a pink kind of settled your
You all
stomach.
make your way forwards,
was nasty.
pushing through now with the idea that there may be something big or something fell over or Fen is hallucinating.
Mm,
But there was a sound.
he's dreaming of pink potions from home, so.
You make your way forward. I need to double check because it's 4 legs a day. You had your first one. One. Okay, you will have one more leg after this. You push forward through the darkness, maybe keeping an eye out to the side. You make your way forward, and the sounds of crunching leaves and snapping twigs just draws your attention in every direction constantly. There are things around you constantly. But at this moment, nothing seems to be actively reaching out. You sometimes get a glance of something moving through the trees. And Nyx, at one point, you swear you saw, when you glanced at a tree trunk, just a large, round, white eye staring at you. But when you look, there is nothing to be seen. So you do not know if it was actually there or if your mind is now beginning to play tricks on you. And that's something you take note of as you push forward. And we go to the last leg of our journey for today. Don't get so excited. Who is leading this final leg?
I will
Okay.
allow Kel to do it. If anyone else
Yeah.
offers, I'll push
Nyx
them
like
back.
bowed up,
I
and then she's
like-
like, okay.
Nana has like a half a second
give
where
Nyx
she
a break.
considers raising her hand, but like Kel jumps in and she's like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okie dokie. Is anybody on lookout duty? Or are we like, the thing is, you guys aren't stealthing, but do you want to be a split second before something happens, or do you just want to take it as it comes? Is anybody doing perception?
Ben will stick with it if no one else is going to do it. He thinks it's important. So if no one volunteers, Fen will do it.
I would volunteer because I think I saw that eye.
Are you
So-
volunteering, Nyx?
I will volunteer.
Okay.
You look a little ill. I can take over.
I appreciate it. If there's anything I can do to help, I just, yeah, I'm probably not at my best right now.
We got this.
You know, I could go for some gummy worms right about now.
Oh no.
Roshan
Oh,
just got to the group,
no.
like he was a
Oh
solid
my
10 yards back and he
Yeah,
just got here.
and he just like he has no context, just walks up like, man, I could really go for some gummy worms.
Fen, your stomach roils as you all push onwards for the final leg for today. Survival with disadvantage from Keld and perception with disadvantage with Nyx. And Nyx, because honestly, I feel like you guys are next to each other, take the +2.
I got a 5.
17 for perception.
Oh, that was your survival.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't ask for wisdom yet. You right. I was just
It's
like,
what?
okay.
Oh boy.
And what'd you get, Nyx?
17.
Okay. All right. Now I need wisdom savings.
Mm. 23.
Wow. I only got 21 this time.
Y'all are built for this.
We were raised in these woods. Well, not these ones, but
You gotta be wise for the
The ones
woods.
right next. Not the ones in Gulunder, apparently. You can be just dense as all hell.
Nyx, roll me a d6.
Nice. Great.
Oh boy.
The
A
DC
4.
rises every single time you do one.
Mhm.
You got 4?
Yeah.
One moment. I'd love to collaborate with you for a moment, Katie.
I'm ready.
Here's my thing. I could come up with something, and it would be on my intuition. Or you could give me something, and I think it would be closer to home, let's say. So if Nyx was going to acquire a mild phobia of a particular type of creature, what would that be? That can range from humanoid to beast to fae. What do you think it would be if in this moment she acquired this phobia?
That's a good question.
I'll let you ponder it for a moment, but I'll need it soonish.
Hmm.
Don't you already have what we're gonna run into planned? Why would you need to know?
Let's just make it that.
Jillian, whatever comes up next, it's that.
Yeah.
Um,
The next
Yeah.
creature I see, it's that.
you are looking at a group of humanoids.
Hmm. I mean, to be fair, druid wise, she is much more into animals than people.
Okay. Do you think you'd like to go with humanoid?
I think that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Great thing to add to this group.
Okay. You currently have a mild fear of humanoids. If you enter combat with a humanoid, you acquire the frightened condition. Okay.
An
And you know,
enemy
you realize-
humanoid?
maybe. I mean, you realize you are surrounded by humanoids, and the thing is, there is something that kind of has been eating at you. They've been eating at you a bit. And it's starting to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you feel a little pale. And the fact that people are walking behind you becomes a little unsettling. It's just, it's in their nature.
question.
Uh-huh.
Would that still be the case if she's standing within 10 feet of me?
If she is within 10 feet of you, she cannot be frightened. So if you maintain 10 feet within Nyx constantly, she cannot become frightened.
I'm fine until I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
When
it
you
will
walk away.
happen.
But
Yeah.
did she get Keld's aura when she rolled her wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say, just point blank, just based on this paladin aura, this phobia will not include Keld at all. Keld is a safe space at this time.
All right.
And you feel content being like, all right, man, me and you, it's always been me and you.
This tree idea seems even better now, actually.
Yeah, that actually moves its way up the list
Hmm.
as you continue walking. By golly, Keld, where are we going? Where are we in the grand scheme of things?
That's a good question.
You feel like you are going very slowly. You feel like you are not exactly losing time, but you're losing time. But the thing is, currently you are safe, you are at the front, and you are focused. And maybe that's better than efficiency.
Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of just trusting the forest to lead me the right way. Which is probably
Okay.
silly, but
Maybe. Roll me a d20.
For silliness,
Sure.
natural 20.
You trust the forest to get you there. And you feel like you're doing something.
I trust this awful forest.
Right or wrong, this place is going to send you where it wants to send you. So you kind of just let intuition take the reins and you push forward. As you move forward, you see something different. And that's where we're going to take our break. Thank you guys for being here. You can go get a snack and a drink, and we will be back in 10 minutes to see what's so different. See you guys in 10.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 170 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The team is currently trekking through the woods after successfully defeating some corrupted little beasties and a cloak. So that's a win. The darkness begins to affect people in the party more deeply and maybe for the first time. And you all continue to push forward. Keld, at this point, just being like, I'm going to follow wherever the woods takes me, because if the woods wants me to go somewhere, what am I going to do about that? I can't stop that from happening, and leans into it. And you all walk forwards until you see something different. You begin to see unnatural structures. And by unnatural, I mean just not of nature. You've just been seeing trees and foliage and, shadow. But you see structures. Weather-worn and nature-toppled stone is scattered about this area. You can assume that this may have at one point been a beautiful set of buildings. And it seems like at one point, maybe somebody put a lot of effort into what this was. But currently it is rubble. As you walk by this, like, if you find a set tall, like a set of stone taller than Keld, it's kind of impressive. Like, there's not, height does not seem to have withstood the test of time. You can see that there are some carvings that are nearly illegible on this pocked stone. It's just not tall or detailed, and currently you see nothing salvageable. Anything not made of stone or a stray piece of pottery has long since turned to mulch in the woods. There is not a lot of pickings here. And it looks treacherous to navigate. But lucky for you, you don't really have to go through it. You can kind of go around it without adding a lot of time to your journey. You don't have to bulldoze through this thing, because it looks like walking through like a field of sharp rocks. It looks difficult and not safe for
Like teeth,
for
one would say.
maybe like teeth, just a field of teeth.
Mm,
Of the ruins that are
As
visible to us,
Mhm.
is there any writing or script or anything like that? Can we tell what language would have been written on anything?
Would you like to stop and investigate it?
I would not like to stop and do anything. I'm just wondering if it was something we could pick up in passing. I am just following Keld because he knows what he is doing.
Nope. You're like, Fenn's like, nope, nah.
Some weird rocks.
He looks and then like kind of like, okay, head back down, let's go. And you continue walking forward. Nyx, you take note of what you can only kind of refer to as like a sinkhole, sort of off in this area. A section of this structure caved in and it like fell into darkness. So you can see this entrance that is mostly obscured by roots and shadow. But observing it, if one happened to be near it and one happened to trip, you could easily fall in. This hole is big enough for any of you to climb in. But you would have to venture over there and be like, let me go trip in here. But you see that, and you make your way forwards past it. You move for a few minutes, handful of minutes, and you feel that rumble. Boom, boom, boom. You hear the sound of branches snapping and falling to the forest floor. Boom, boom, boom. Whatever this is, is large and it is heading in your direction. You are injured and your resources are low. What do? Everyone becomes pointedly aware that something incredibly large is coming.
Can we get any idea of how far off that is? Maybe at its pace, how long it might take to reach us?
It is approaching rapidly. You must make a choice now. It is stay and fight, hide here to the best of your ability, or turn around and do something.
Should we hide?
Do we want to try hiding?
Yes, fuck it. And Fen takes out a rope off his shoulder and casts rope trick. And all right, come on, everyone up. Roshan, you first.
Roshan definitely needs a boost because cannot.
Fen is there for the
climb on his
purposes
own.
of giving the alley-oop.
Yep.
Okay. Roshan's
Okay.
up.
Okay.
Everyone's making their way in. And you are all up in the rope trick. This rumbling grows louder and louder. And you can almost see something on the periphery. Your view is basically straight down. And you have the sensation of something is there. Boom. Boom. Snap. Something falls. This thing is circling this space. And it continues to circle. Sometimes it gets a little distant. And then it makes its way back around, as if guarding the space. Mm-hmm.
Can it tell we're here? What do you guys think?
Seem to be going anywhere.
Sounds like it's patrolling, so might need something of a distraction.
What kind of distractions do we have?
Remember when we were going to set up that druid grove? Do you think that's something that can be done from inside this bubble?
No.
I don't have the ability to do that today, nor do I have much powerful magic left today.
Right. Any other suggestions? I mean, there's always, and I can't believe I'm suggesting this. See if we can talk to it.
I don't know if anything in these parts of the woods shy of the Somla is going to be something that we ought to speak with, that will deign to speak with us.
Does anybody know what the Somla looks like?
Only an idea. Yeah.
Does she
let
boom
me-
when she walks?
I don't know. I think Kild's gonna shimmy out of the rope trick.
Ooh, I,
What?
I don't want to be alone with these people. I'm following.
Yeah,
No.
Nyx, you immediately follow.
No.
You pick a time, you come out when it seems to be at like the end of its patrol and will actively be turning shortly and returning to this space. What are you doing?
Do I have my eyes on it? Anything?
No,
Okay.
you only can hear it.
And where's that sinkhole in regards to this?
Well, I'll point it out that there was a sinkhole.
Oh yeah. It was just
At
you that
all.
saw it.
Yeah.
It was at least Nick saw it first, but
Yeah.
I would say because Keld was also leading, it's kind of like a you look somewhere, he looks somewhere. So both of
Yeah.
you at least know of the sinkhole. Currently, I'm going to roll a luck check. It's more in the dirt. So these footsteps, this loud sound, is in the direction you are going.
Hmm.
The sinkhole is back the other direction. Currently, this is like the biggest gap between you and whatever is walking around, and the furthest it is from the sinkhole. So you can kind of tell where the end of its path is before it turns around and comes back. But it's it'd be or a very sneaky attempt to get there, or a fucking sprint. Those are the two options if that's where you would like to go. As this thing begins, at this point, is now starting to make its way back towards you. So you kind of lost your lead at this moment. Do you want to stay out or do you want to go back in?
I think we should bring them to that sinkhole. I don't think we're gonna be able to stay on this thing all night.
No, definitely not. Let's shimmy back in for now.
Keld goes in, then followed by Nyx.
Mhm.
And as you guys were going, you do hear those feet begin to pick up. Like it
Oh
noticed you.
boy.
And then
Oh,
was
shit.
too slow to get there.
Oh.
And you both are now back inside of the pocket dimension.
Okay, I'm gonna relay that to everyone.
Any ideas, observations?
I couldn't get eyes on it, but I think it knows we're here.
Mhm.
So
Fuck.
wherever we are.
So we know it knows we're here. What are we going to do about it? Exactly.
Do you want to try running there, Keld? Once it's far away again. The sinkhole.
We were thinking about trying to get to the sinkhole. Maybe that's a safe spot.
What
I'm
makes
just
you
not
think it's a
sure.
safe spot?
I don't know what to do after that, though. I don't know, guys.
I think regardless, we'd like to lose a quarter-day travel, but better that than alive. I'm with the two of you. Nana, Roshan, any ideas?
I mean, if we'd had time, we could do something, prepare the sinkhole as some kind of trap, something it could fall into and not bother us anymore. But what have we got to throw in there? What time do we have to prepare it?
Do any of us know the dimensions of the sinkhole?
I didn't even see it. I
Is
was
there a
trying
way we
not to
can
look up
move
very
this trick that you've done over the sinkhole?
We can't move this that we're in. I can cast it again on the others when we get there. Nana, your boots. If we
Yeah.
can get around the sinkhole, this thing is tight on our heels. As long as we can get there fast enough that it can't see, maybe use your boots to make the sinkhole appear not to be there.
Well, if it sees the illusion going down, it's going to see through it immediately.
Well,
But maybe it
But
won't.
if I went ahead,
if we
I
go,
could set it up and disguise the entry to the sinkhole with some illusory terrain. I mean, you all would have to obviously try and navigate around it and not fall in yourselves, but it
just try
wouldn't
to get
see the
there.
illusion going down. So
Try to get there together. I'm not sure. I don't want you running off by yourself.
Nyx, I'm going to give you some details just for the like things that you have. So you have
Mhm.
like the knowledge that you have of this sinkhole, which is minimal. It looked like the first word that comes to mind is like cave in.
Mhm.
Like this house or whatever building it was fell into something lower and caved in on itself. You do not know how deep the sinkhole goes. You do not know how sturdy the sinkhole currently is, though it does have a bunch of rubble kind of atop it and around it that it has been supporting. It is big enough for a person, a human-sized person, to fit into and go into. You would have to possibly bet on that this thing is now currently unstable and that this will fall in, and that it is a big enough drop to impair it. It's all a gamble.
Yeah.
Or it's a
Oh.
hiding spot, or it's something you avoid entirely.
She'll relay that to the group. I don't see how we can use it as a trap with at least how it looked. I think the best bet is using that area for hiding. For us, our sake, maybe, rather than
That thing. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the play? We just lie low in one of those one of those structures behind some rocks until it goes.
Got an hour in this rope trick. If it knows we're here, it's going to know we're in a hole in the ground. This
Mhm.
this rope trick's going to disappear an hour from when I cast it, and then we're without cover. Do we risk waiting and hoping it loses interest by the time if we go into the ground?
I don't know. Yeah.
Seems to be the only option. Either wait it out or face whatever's out there.
I mean, if it's patrolling, we might be able to sneak one or two people off the rope trick and into hiding before it can see them leaving, I guess. And maybe they'd be able to then make their way towards those structures, and we could go maybe 2 by 2. I don't know.
It could live in
or-
those structures for all we know. We could
Well,
be
there was
walking into
nothing-
its home.
There was nothing
Hmm.
bigger than Keld over there.
There's nothing bigger than
But-
we're in the woods. A deer
There were
bed
no
down where they do. Like it's any.
Mm.
We have no idea what this even is.
20
this
minutes
something-
have elapsed.
Hmm.
Roshan, you're the one of us that's in the worst condition. You'll like to not travel as fast or as far as any of the rest of us at this point. What do you think? What sort of ideas have you got?
Either we hide or we face whatever's out there. It might be just as dangerous to fall into that hole, but I don't think anything's out here is going to be friendly, so I can get there. Don't worry about me.
Is that what everyone wants to do? Make a break for it.
I can't
Wait
think of
for it to
anything.
reach apogee of its circuit, and when it's at its furthest point, run.
I think it'd be better if we do it slightly before. Try and catch it just before it reaches the furthest end, before it can turn around, before it can see where we are.
We
It's
can
not like
time it
it's-
then, yeah.
Anything we can do to help us make it there? Nana, have you a pass without trace in you? We've
I'm
moved
not sure about that. I don't
as
know.
quickly as possible, but
So without
No.
trace will
I'm-
be for stealthing.
we'd be able to move at regular speed while being stealth, right?
I believe that is part of the effect. Is that
thought
correct?
I don't know if Nana's even
That's
allowed to at this point.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
I'm trying to
Okay.
remember.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Only
That sounds
she
like you're
does.
helping people.
that's been my struggle.
Yeah, and it does not affect speed.
Okay. Oh, that's just a ranger ability that
Yeah, that's a
favorite
ranger
terrain.
thing.
Yeah.
But we're no
Mhm.
longer in your favored terrain, as you
Yeah.
both
Yeah,
have
this
told me.
is yeah.
All right. If we're gonna make the break for it, travel order. I suggest I take up last in line.
Mhm.
All right.
I can catch up better than anyone can. If I have to stop and loose a few arrows at it, I can catch up to the group, hopefully.
Only if you really have to. Let's.
I'd rather not encounter this whatsoever, but
Yeah.
who's like to
30
lead
minutes has
us?
passed.
Nix, you know where this is. Can you lead the way as best as possible?
Yeah, Kel and I can lead.
Okay.
He saw it too.
All right. I'll take up behind Roshan. Keep us moving.
Let's go.
We'll
All
all
right,
wait.
let's listen and then
Yeah. You have to let this thing do a couple circuits. And then you run. This is going to be a skill challenge.
Mm.
You are going to need 5 successes before 3 failures. You can use abilities or magic to negate your disadvantage that you all currently have on all skill checks. Who's going first?
I know what Roshan wants to do. Roshan would like to use both his what's it called? Angel powers activate. You know the one.
Radiant Soul or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, that. And also use the sword, which gives him expeditious retreat. So he's now as fast as a normal person and can fly.
Okay.
Ooh.
And that's what he's going to do. I don't know.
Pick me a skill, baby boy.
Yeah. I think I could try and swing investigation and see if he can pick his steps really carefully so he doesn't get a twisted ankle between
But he's
some
flying.
bricks. Oh yeah, he's flying. That
I don't
doesn't
feel like
matter.
that's lining up for me. It
Mm.
sounds like we're leaning
Mm.
a bit physical to me.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Then I guess just acrobatics.
Okay. Because of all of your add-ons, you know what? As a kindness to roll Arcana real quick. Just
Okay.
roll me an Arcana.
Oh, at disadvantage. Still
Okay.
30.
Okay. Still 30. I'm going to give you advantage back because you are
Oh.
using resources and like a lot of very good things to help you at this time.
Good.
The DCs being set are being set each round. This thing is trying to catch you and it'll set the DC every time. The
Okay.
DC, I'm going to let you go ahead and roll and then we'll talk about what this DC was.
Okay.
So you have advantage on acrobatics.
So a 17 plus 4, 21.
Okay. The DC on that one was a solid 10 because it rolled a nat 1 on its approach and seems to be struggling at the beginning to catch you. But you all are immediately aware that this thing is now barreling in your direction. You have a gap. Roshan just kind of like stands up and it's kind of like just kind of like kind of a normal person pace flying through the air and begins to make his way forward. Who's next?
Fen would reach into his quiver and carefully select a thunderclap arrow and off in a direction that we are not heading, loose one of those motherfuckers as far as he can and hope that it is drawn by the sound of the thunder going off.
What skill? Do you think that's deception?
I don't know what skill that would be.
I need it to be a skill, thank you.
Okay.
Sounds like it's leaning deception for me, but I can be talked into other things.
Would you take survival in that I'm making a decoy?
Sure.
Okay. And that
you are
would
because of this choice, though, you are going to be still rolling with disadvantage.
Okay.
DC 16.
Okay. Well, that meets a 16.
Okay. You send this
On the
arrow.
button.
There is this loud rumble, and you think it veers its path a little and begins to correct. But it did kind of stop its straight line approach, but is now reassessing and focusing back in. That is 2 successes. You need 3 more successes before 3 failures. Who's next?
Hill kind of just wants to use athletics to book it.
Okay. Kel's just like, go, and just begins running. I mean, it'll be with disadvantage unless there's something you have to make yourself better in that regard. But you can just hope that you outroll this thing.
I have a misty step, but
Um,
I think I'm just
how
gonna.
how many misty steps you want to use?
I'm not gonna
if you
use
just
misty step.
okay, go ahead
Just
and roll
gonna-
athletics at disadvantage.
Gotta go fast. Well, that's a nat 1.
What does it add up to?
9.
Well, your boy also rolled a nat 1.
Wow.
My second nat 1 in 3 rolls. His adds up to a 10.
Damn it.
So that will be your first failure. Keld, you begin running. And the woods is almost like, what if you went that way? What if you went that way? And it's like you are starting to
no.
like, it's kind of like you are leaning into where the woods is leaning you, but you also want to go towards a sinkhole and it's kind of splitting your focus. You are running, but you're starting to get a little disorientated,
Oh boy.
but you're
The
still booking
panic.
it. We need 3 successes before 2 failures.
Nana would like to try to jump in. God. She wants to I'm leaning perception. She wants to try and find the swiftest route forward that will not trip her up. She is trying to like make her way along in Nix and Keld's wake as best as she can and make that as direct a route as she can.
Are using any magic or abilities to assist you?
I was thinking about that, and I was inclining myself towards using enhanceability, but it happens to also be the same spell slot level as Pass Without Trace, and that will catch me out in a fib. And so I will just
Why would
do them
anybody know
all.
you used it? You're all running.
That is true.
And
Yeah, we all
also,
running.
why would they be upset you tried to save yourself, Nana?
It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay.
This would be a good way to find out if they actually do care.
It's a good point. You know what? Owl's wisdom. Advantage on wisdom checks, which is my perception. So yeah.
Okay, so now you have a straight roll.
Okay. All right.
DC 20.
All right. Ooh, baby, yes. All right. 17 on the dice plus 12 is 29.
Okay. Your eyes widen and for a moment you're like, and now I'm actually a little scared. But
I have
you
been
use
for
that
a bit.
adrenaline to try and focus the team and tell them when roots are approaching, when there are low-hanging branches. You were trying to give them maybe not the most direct route, but the safest route. And
Yeah.
you continue to help the team push forward. You need 2 successes before 2 failures.
Eh,
Hey, what's up?
Would I be able to use insight to gauge like the thing's next movement to try to move us further from it as we're running? Since I'm
Sure.
leading.
Zig as it zags, per se, perhaps?
So one of those types of things? Yeah.
You got something to add to fuck up your disadvantage?
Absolutely not.
Okay. This is a DC 20.
Great. Okay. We're good. That's 22.
Wow. There you go. You listen to the sound of its footsteps, and it's not behaving like an animal. It's
It might be a
honestly, you
humanoid.
can't.
We gotta go.
Yeah, you're like, I think it's running on 2 legs, and that's humanoid enough for you, buddy.
This
You're
way.
like, that's 2 legs. It is taking the path of most resistance, which is just straightforward, which means it is slowing itself a bit by bumping into things. So you're like, I think if we do a bit of zigging and zagging towards bigger trees, we might slow this thing down. And you begin to lead the team through. We need 1 more success before 2 failures.
Ben is going to take that. Ben is gonna peel off the back of the group, off to one side. When he thinks he's a sufficient distance away, he's just gonna make a loud ass noise, some loud ass noises, and try to divert this thing, and then use stealth to hide, and while the team makes it to where they're going, make his way back to them.
Okay, I'm going to inform you now that no matter if this skill check is a success and we get to it and we win, we're not done. If you
Understood.
peel off from the group, there is more to be done.
Understood.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to add to get rid of your disadvantage? Can't hear you.
Add to his stealth roll, he will misty step back at least once towards the path that the party was on, so he can try to find his way back without making footsteps along the way, where he, even though he's trying to hide, even though he would be walking stealthily, he would want to get back into line with where the party was originally heading,
Okay.
so he could
Hold
follow
on
their
to
Follow the
that.
path
footprints.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on to that. I will not, like, if you use that now, it's too soon. Using that now is too soon. So I cannot put them together for this. So that is a technique you can use after the skill challenge is over, and that could help you. It will not be efficient in this split second, you at the very beginning of this skill challenge event. Is there something else you'd like to do at this time? Or is it like Weeball?
Trying to get this thing's attention. So I don't know if that's a performance check. I wanted to use stealth as I can get back to the group, but
Yeah, you can use stealth. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I don't have
At this
anything else
moment,
to-
it's like you are certainly separating yourself, and then we'll have to use things to help you to get back after. So you can do
I-
stealth, but
got nothing else.
okay, roll stealth with disadvantage. Your DC is 18.
Say dirty 20.
Okay. That is 5 successes. The party makes their way forward without Fen. And the thing is, when you're just bulldozing forward, you're not always taking stock of the entirety of your group. You hear a bunch of strange noises. There's the sound of the thunder, then there's some other distracting noises, and you make your way forward. And the rest of you hit this rocky area, and it is a struggle in and of itself to not just twist your ankle, faceplant, and rip yourself asunder on these jagged rocks. And you do have to slow pace once you hit this, except Roshan, who's like, I'm doing it, and is just like slowly flying
Mhm.
across. So he's like
Oh.
leading the way. You see that this area begins to slow it down as well. It is still obscured by tree behind you, but you can see the shadow of something large now slowing down as it approaches this jagged, sort of like all these jagged rocks, but it is not stopping. It is still
Oh,
in
boy.
pursuit.
Okay.
But it seems to take it into account as you are. You are approaching this sinkhole. We dive in? What are we doing?
I
Time
think
is of the essence.
Roshan would say me first and then conjure a little light in his hands and then go face first in the hole.
Oh boy.
Okay. Roshan disappears into this hole.
And would try to guide people if he's at all possible.
We are in Split Second Town.
Okay.
Cool. I guess Nana's going in the hole. Where else are we going to go? And frankly, if we hide anywhere else, it's going to take too long to get back to Roshan.
Okay. Keldon Nix.
In the hole?
Cannonball.
All right. I'm sticking with him. So
Roshan, you say me first and go in, and you kind of like have to push past like a bunch of roots that have just sort of grown into the space. And you kind of get through and you hold out your light and perceive and look at the 40-foot drop, and you turn your head and it's just like whip, 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 as the three of them just immediately plummet behind you. The roots slow them down a little, but the three of you just plummet about 40 feet and hit the ground. Fen, you are alone. You don't know where the sinkhole is exactly. What are we doing?
Is this thing approaching me now? Because that was the idea, was to get it to follow me rather than the party.
Once again, it like veered, but it continued its pursuit. It was not, you think it was not able to catch them. You think it is now currently between you and where they went. That is its current location.
Okay. I would like to attempt to rediscover our path.
Okay. Give me survival. I'll give you a flat check because you've been walking it for a hot minute now. You've walked it twice now.
Yeah, you remember the way you came 5 minutes ago. Well,
three.
half an hour ago.
Okay. Yep. You are able to find your path, and you hear that boom, boom, boom. Patrolling, looking, guarding. You found the path. What are you doing?
I am stealthing along that path. If it seems like it picks up on my location, I will misty step where I think the path picks up 30 feet farther down the line.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me stealth with disadvantage.
That same dirty 20. Same 6 on the dice, same dirty 20.
Okay. You slowly move forward. And you reach your hand up to brace yourself against the trunk of a tree to look around. And it is dead, rotten wood, and your hand squelches into it. And you make a visceral noise. This thing is now actively running in your direction. Boom, 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 boom. What are we doing? This thing is now actively running at you.
Poof, misty step 30 feet. Poof, misty step 30 feet. Poof, misty step 30 feet.
What do you need?
That is my
What do you
daily
need?
that
What
is
do you
my
need?
daily casting of it, and my last 2 second level spell slot and a slot from the Pearl of Power.
Okay. You know, this is a big guy. This is a big nightmare, but can it make up 90 feet? I don't know if it can.
I think this just
It-
comes. Fen has never Misty Step before. This is just visceral fear and him thinking back to what Keld told him and what they researched in the library. It all just comes out in a flood of fear. I think he vomits first and then pop pop pop.
Yeah. Fen just magic brought on for the first time by fear. Misty steps the amount of time he can physically misty step and begins running forward. I'll take perception. Yeah, it's gonna be perception. I need perception with disadvantage. This is to find the sinkhole. I cannot hear you.
21.
Okay.
It would have been a natural 20 if I didn't roll in a disadvantage. Maybe I can get some sleep tonight in a fucking hole.
Maybe.
40 feet
You
down.
run forward and you hear the smashing of stone behind you, and you're like, I cannot turn around. If I turn around, I will stop. All of my bones will just stop and I will turn to jelly and die on the ground. It is visceral, this fear, as you run full speed. And you can see this little pocket of darkness and a flash of light from underneath it. You know where the sinkhole is. This thing is running at you. You hear stone exploding behind you. What are you doing?
35 feet of movement. Dash. Bonus action dash.
You jumping in?
Yeah, jump it in.
Okay. Whoop. And you jump in. Meanwhile, just a little bit of the rest of the team. you fall into pockets of darkness as Rashawn has entered the space first and is illuminating part of it. You go crashing past icy roots and crumpled stones. Dexterity saving throw from everybody who jumped. Fen, you can roll. Just hold on to the number for me.
Do those of us who fell with Keld get +2?
Well, I suppose so. I should have made it a check. I should have made it a check, but that's okay. You win this time, Paladin.
What are we rolling again?
Dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad for that. I'm not sure I saved anyway. 14?
Okay.
$16.
Oh, then 16. Okay. Held.
Okay.
I was just like, do
14.
I need to come? Should I
Are
come
you
in there? Are
okay?
you okay?
Are you all
I
right?
was like, are you good? Should I
I was
come
trying to
look?
check something.
Right,
I
right.
was like, do you need help?
You were deeply focused.
You two got 14.
Yep.
I have a 14.
Okay. 22 points of falling damage to Keld
Ow.
and Nana, and 11 to Nyx. As you sort
Ow.
of get like ping-ponged down and then slam hard into cold ground. You land on hard, cold floor. It smells of stagnant air and mildew. The room is cold, but safe from the wind to an extent. And you hear the sound of those heavy footsteps now, like aggressively running in this direction towards this hole.
Oh,
As you can feel like everything kind of like shaking, and like dirt and rock begin to kind of like detach from the ceiling and begin to sort of rain
Nana's
down on all
probably
of
like
you.
scrabbling away from the hole just in case the thing like sinks a leg in and its foot comes down and squishes us. She tried to get away from the hole itself.
Valid paranoia.
Thanks.
And I
Um,
think Roshan at the top is like, wait, 1, 2, 3. Shit, where's Fen?
Yeah.
And then Fen goes rocketing past him.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
100%. You say, where, whoosh, and
Wait,
Fen
where's
just
Fen? Oh!
flies by. Fen, what'd you get?
I got a 16.
Okay,
Nice.
you get 11 points of damage as you're
Ouch.
falling, you like grab onto a root and like it's icy, but like it slows your fall a bit. Your hand slides down it, and then you fall onto the ground,
With
catching
evasion,
yourself and
Some-
rolling.
with evasion, I'll half that. So
Okay.
Hey. He
He
just kind of like rope rides down all Legolas style. Even though it hurts his hands, he still looks cool. You wouldn't even believe that he just puked like 2 seconds ago.
oh, he pukes the moment he falls on. He like hits the floor,
Got it.
and he does like a tuck and roll, but the
Uh-huh.
spinning this centripetal force
Oh,
of he just
yeah.
comes out
You're
of his
like-
roll, and he just
Ugh.
Sonic the
Oh.
Hedgehog, but puking.
Don't get me
Yeah,
started on
should've
puns
made
on
that
that,
a-
man. Don't get me started.
All of you are now in this space, and you listen to the rumbling of heavy footsteps above. And it begins to fade. And it's quiet as the sound becomes more distant. And it's kind of just on the edge of your periphery. Like, it is not fully gone, but it seems like it is unsure of what to do, or maybe it thinks something else happened, but it is not gone yet. But it is not atop you. Currently, let me give you a little idea of where you are. As Roshan, you are able to illuminate the space to a degree. It casts aggressive shadow, depending on where you stand. And during this, you slowly have to lower yourself to the ground as the ability fades. You are in a large room made small by collapse. You can see variations and different depths of color on the wall, especially when like the light is not next to it. You can see there are designs, but when the light is not directly atop it, you can't really differentiate. So you'd have to focus the light on these walls if you wanted to get better looks at them. As somebody like walks and now is not distracted by the rumble of thunderous footsteps and like the beating of blood in your ears, when you walk, you can hear like a clatter underfoot, and you see small round discs that litter the floor, some of them in large piles, some of them just scattered about. As light catches them, you get a glint of metal, copper, silver, gold, platinum. There are coins scattered across the floor in this space. There is broken pottery, and in some corners, lumps of either stone or once furniture. You can see that there are destroyed boxes turned basically to mush. There are things trapped under rubble that if you ever wanted to see what it was, you'd have to take the time to see what it was. You can see that there is a surviving torch sconce on the wall. The other one that might have been in this room looks like it was destroyed by the collapse. And there is a large, pristine, sturdy-looking door at the end. To give you more information as, is there any way we're adding more light to the space?
I
I
mean,
certainly
Nana
could
light a
cast-
torch.
I could cast
There is a
daylight
torch
again.
scones.
I have torches in my pack. Nana always stocks up on them anytime we adventure, so there's a torch. For what that does.
Would you like to light this torch and put it on the sconce?
Yeah, if we're trying to have a look around and actually see what the space is.
If that's what you'd like to do, Nana.
Yeah.
Okay. The space now a good bit more illuminated with the ability of the light spell and a torch. You can now clearly see that coins cover the floor. There are coins everywhere. There is an array of smashed pottery, crushed chests. You can see some of them may have surviving contents in them, but you would have to shuffle through the debris. The walls are faded, ornate murals carved and painted onto the walls. This faded imagery is of a snow-capped mountain range and the forest at its feet, and an expansive starry night sky above. You can see there are depictions of people roaming the woods with bows in hand on the hunt. There are people traversing the mountains with snowshoes on and skis. On the opposing wall, the ocean can be seen past the snowy mountain peaks and a large boat sailing in the distance. You can see that many faded red colors are bordering the mural, but have faded drastically. You can see that there is something written in multiple instances across the mural in runic fashion. There's some sentiment written there. You can see that there are baskets strewn about the place that have fully turned to mulch. And on this large, sturdy door that stands before you at the end of this once large room is the depiction of a large, beautiful woman with deep blue skin, and her scale is shown on this door by the trees being at waist height on her. She is dressed warmly in reds and whites. Her hair is a tapestry of braids. She has a bow on her back and snowshoes on her feet. The door handles are gold, and an accumulation of coins seems to be near the doorway. This is what you get at first glance.
Is this a temple with these offerings?
Then vomits again.
Oh. All right. I'm gonna go
The
over
room
here.
kind of smells like jerky.
Mm.
I'm gonna go over there.
Right.
Would Roshan recognize this as Scotty? Or
Uh, I won't have you roll because you think Roshan's on the mark with that.
and remind me, was Scotty also the one that Gorbjorn and Saga were friends with, kinda?
No,
Okay.
that was a different giantess. That was the
Mm.
king of giants.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think Roshan will just mutter Scotty and start trying to read the runes on the walls.
Yeah, that's Roshan, for you, reading is
Fundamental.
is always doable 99% of the time.
Yeah.
You can read, and we're all very proud of you. The reoccurring phrase that you keep finding is survive and thrive. That seems to be one of the repeated mantras that is integrated into these murals.
I think he'll muse aloud. It could have been a temple, probably devoted to Skadi, and it says survive and thrive over and over. Perhaps this was the edge of civilization at one point and spread out beyond here. I don't know in what direction, but
This place must be ancient.
Scotty is this is probably Max Smoothbrain. How much do us as the party at large know generally of Scotty?
Scotty is not
Domain
an
or-
incredibly unheard of goddess to you can use some people would probably use the word goddess loosely. But she is a giantess. And the reason that she does come to mind probably easiest, besides the fact that she is a goddess of winter and the hunt, and she's probably been brought up on occasion in your lives. She is known for surviving in the harshest winter no matter what. That is the goal of Scotty, survival. And you remember that you were at a temple of Njord, and Scotty was his wife.
Right.
That there was a mural of beautiful feet, and she picked his beautiful feet, and they got
Yes.
married, and it seems to be, it wasn't the best marriage. Not based on anything besides incompatibility and the fact that he wanted to be on a boat and she wanted to be in the mountains. That just didn't work for them.
Their interests just didn't overlap. You know.
He was picked by his feet. It was not a
He
it was not a
was.
there was
It was
no
not a
date.
meritocracy type of situation. It was a beauty contest, and the
So,
contest was
yeah.
for feet.
Yeah, Scotty is not the most elusive knowledge-wise of
Okay.
people in the pantheon.
Cool.
she's like
Okay.
goddess of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah. Babes loves a snowshoe, loves a ski, loves killing things with a bow and arrow. It's just there she goes, doing it.
There she goes. She doing it. So, what kind of is there anything surviving in this area in terms of materials that are not coin?
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of shiny is what your eyes are picking up on. You would have to investigate to take note of all the shiny. But there's a lot of shiny.
Might take some time to have at least a look over what is here.
This is probably the safest place to bed down for the night.
Mhm.
Now the question is, do we open the door before or after we try to sleep?
Please
Do
have
any of
to-
us feel up for a fight if a fight is on the other side of that door?
Not even a little bit.
I don't really want one right now. I understand we all want to keep moving forward, but so long as that thing is tromping around upstairs, I think we ought to try and make such movement forward as we can while we're down here. But I don't think we should move anywhere else right now if there's a chance of us running into something that wants to make it our problem.
So, we take a rest. I don't think we should take anything from. This seems like a temple,
Yeah,
and perhaps we pay respects while we're here, and
Yeah.
maybe she'll bless our journey. Um,
it can't hurt. I hope. Hopefully the lurk doesn't have some kind of grudge against Skadi or something.
So
No,
you guys can
she
take
probably does.
into account that you are in, based on the grandeur of the door.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like if you came to visit, this is like the lobby. You're like,
Yeah.
and I put my things down and I say thanks, and
Thanks, Scotty.
and then I go. So you can
Mhm.
only assume something grander is behind the door. What exactly?
Oh.
It could just be literally fallen rocks. You could open it and
Yeah.
it's nothing. But
Yeah.
that's your assumption, at least, of where you are in space, is that you're like kind of in the lobby,
Hmm.
surrounded by coin and gem and weapons. What are you guys doing? Anything in particular?
I mean, Nana is gonna look around the stuff that is here and kind of try to get a vibe for like, what are the offerings that were left here for Scotty, so that we will know what will be appealing as an offering.
Sure. You can give me investigation. It'll be with disadvantage unless somebody else is like, I too would love to count coin and move box.
I am fine with doing that myself.
Ben is too busy cleaning the sick off of himself.
Yeah.
Also, it's
That
very
needs to
funny to
do
me that Roshan could do something about that, and and isn't, which is he's like, y'all, I'm gonna lay down. Figure out your own
That-
shit.
I don't even have a Presty in me, no.
He's got like
That is the
4
vibe.
levels of
Meditate
exhaustion. I
now.
don't want him doing magic near me, even if it's a cantrip.
Just explodes. Let me clean.
Jesus.
Oh,
Oh,
there he goes.
no! Ah, so sad. All right. Well, goddamn. Actually, not as bad as it could have been. It would have been a nat 20 had I not had disadvantage, but as it is, that is a 17 on the dice plus 2 is 19.
Okay. Nana, everything I'm about to tell you is a guesstimation.
Got it.
And you are basing this guesstimation because this is not your area of expertise.
Right.
You are kind of making your guesstimation based on if everything was top quality. But you can see that things are tarnished and bent and broken. So this is the top price if everything was perfect. So you can only assume that it's either that or lower is the amount you are seeing. First off, based on just a kind of look around, you think you're looking at 6,000 gold worth of coin. And you can
Damn.
tell that if you started moving rubble, you could probably get more. There's like piles that were buried, and you're like, I know I could get a lot more if I moved these. There is an array of gems equaling the tens of thousands, at least 10,000. There are some old, intricate weapons, but that aren't exactly usable. Maybe a collector would like them, but the quality is rough. They look rough.
Mm.
Um,
A
you see
collector
about
who loves a project?
yeah, it's like they'd have to almost like fully remake one of these swords. But they'd
Oh,
have like the design and the hilt
Yeah.
and
yeah.
about 500 gold pieces worth of metal plates and cutlery.
Hmm.
Hundreds of arrowheads. Just hundreds of arrowheads. So many
Wow.
arrowheads.
Ooh.
All varying quality and sizes and types. But there's so many arrowheads.
I mean, she
they
is goddess
about
of the hunt.
Yeah.
So
one of her imageries is a bow.
Mm.
So about 3,000 gold in statuettes depicting Scotty. And then maybe around 5,000 gold in jewelry.
Mm.
And that's what you see without like digging through rubble.
Okay. Well, I guess kind of going over all of this, Nana sort of like just remarks offhand to the party, like, well, none of this is in top condition. I mean, we'd probably barely be able to scrape half cost, half price for the majority of it, the condition that it's in. Some of it might not even have a buyer, but it's a lot. It's a lot. She kind of totals up like the approximate number in full in like gold value that she can kind of guesstimate. But it's like, again, probably about half that maybe. And that's if we wanted to potentially anger Scotty by taking any of this out of here to be priced. So,
Well, I hate to leave more than 20,000 gold's worth of items, but they are offerings, and we don't need any more bad luck.
I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, especially since it's a temple in the middle of already a challenging locale. I think it's a good idea to just leave it be. Let Scotty have what is Scotty's and carry on our way.
Everyone needs to sleep. There's nothing more important than everyone just getting a night's rest. We can't be spending our time scraping up coin from the floor. Whatever it is, it does us no good. It weighs us down. It clangs in our pockets as we try to hide ourselves. I say we leave it.
Yeah, we're on board with that. We weren't suggesting taking anything.
I'm just reiterating what you said, just adding my vote of confidence to your assessment.
Also, you guys could put it in the bag of holding. It won't make a single noise. If you were so inclined.
If you were so inclined.
If you were so inclined. Or you could put in
But
your pocket
I
and you
am
can hear
not.
a jingle, which is
Nana
very
is
fun.
not so inclined. Nana is not
I fill
so
my
inclined.
pockets and then kind of dance about so I can hear it and remind myself. I want to know.
I dance a little jig.
And I'm just, anytime I find coin on the ground, I scoop it up. And I'm like,
And I pop
this
it in
is
my pockets
exciting.
and I go, I dance and I dance.
I tie little bags to my pants and have a little jaunt about. But it sounds like everybody's saying we're not going to touch the fortune that is sitting before us. That
It
is sounds
seems
like
to be Skadi's fortune, and she could well see us touching it.
maybe.
We don't know
Maybe.
what's in the other room yet, so
We don't know what's in the other room yet
should
either.
wait.
Mhm.
Yes.
Scotty kicks open the fucking door. Wow.
Thanks for not stealing.
Wow, good job,
My
everyone.
shit
I'm
not
like,
good enough
"Ooh."
for you?
She's like, I put it out on the floor. Wow.
I mean, we thought it was for you. We didn't think you would give it to
Wow.
us.
Is there anything before bed?
Roshan would like to find a secluded corner. Not that there's probably much of that. And he's going to set himself down in a prayer pose and he's actually going to reach out to the shadow. And I think he'll say, I need help. I'm so tired. And I'm a burden right now to my friends. And I don't know if I can make it without help. I almost died again today. And I'm really trying to stay alive, to trust them in this hell of a forest. And so I ask, is there anything you can do to help?
You feel that warmth again. I should thank them for letting me come forward and speak. A kindness that our thoughts don't overlap. I am a whisper on the wind. I am the idea of thought, and yet I am sentient and I am burdened by that. And I am confused, often. And yet, I want in this moment nothing more than to see you thriving, bolstered. I want to see you at your peak. I crave that. The world is large and cruel. And doing it alone is quite painful, no?
I think Roshan doesn't respond out loud, but sniffles a little bit and nods.
What the three of us are is here and gone, is present and not. I'm sure we could do something. We separated ourselves a bit from you. We tried to not influence you as much physically, mentally, not overstep our bounds as a kindness. And we like that. And sometimes we crave to interfere, to guide your hand. I could jostle around your brain chemicals, and you'd sleep like a baby in my arms. But then what of the next night? Then you need me every night. And then I am the crutch that you lean on. And then if I go, if you banish me like the wolf, then how do you sleep? You may ask this of me. But it comes with consequence, and I can acknowledge that of myself. Or We can use the world around us. They don't want to have to drag you, a burden, around in the forest, throwing themselves atop you to save you from the elements. I know you can do that on your own. You just need help getting there.
But what do I do?
Small thing. And you can feel the heat encroaching into your space. I try to understand you on the day, on the night, on the wind, and it's as if I know you. And it's as if I don't. I could rip the words from your mouth. I could reiterate what you said. You lay on the floor and you beg me for help. You can stand as an equal and ask them for help. The same words. I wish to sleep, I am struggling. I wish to thrive, I am struggling. And that's hard, isn't it, small thing?
I think there is a flash of anger and frustration that's so weak as most of the fight is out of him. And instead of saying anything back, he understands and is quiet for seconds longer to see if this new voice has anything else helpful or frustrating that it wants to share.
You give this voice the floor. And this warmth sort of remains in your space, as if giving you just whatever comfort comes with its existence. And then it seems to take a step back.
I think Roshan stands up and turns around, head hung, eyes on the floor, and says quietly, I don't know how to ask for this or what you could all give, but I need help. I need to sleep or rest. And I don't know if I can do it alone.
Well,
But maybe someone else can help.
I think that can be arranged. We really need to make this place more comfortable, though.
Some
Think-
decent sleeping area would go a long way to start.
Yeah, Roshan will get out a mostly unused pillow and sleeping roll for himself.
Wow.
Wow.
Your
I'm
pillow is
going
so
camping.
fresh and clean.
Yeah, it's like you've never used it.
Um,
Yeah, I think Nana kind of like goes about like just prepping the the sleeping space, the campsite. It's rote. It's like it's clear away debris, get out like anything that's wet, put down, something to cover over the rough spots and make the place habitable.
Finn claws himself up out of the fetal position and
Oh, buddy.
tries to make camp the old-fashioned way. Uh,
Can
he
you make a
doesn't-
fire without puking on it?
Yeah. He has a tinderbox. We might have to look around for things to burn. Maybe he'll start hacking down some of these vines.
Just a pile of torches. It's like, there we
I mean,
go.
Yeah.
There's a few torches. I don't think we should use all of them all in one go necessarily, but I've got like 5 more in my pack.
You guys would probably have to use things on your person for make firework.
Okay. Well,
If we want it warm, I could put up a tiny hut for the night.
it won't
Just,
strain you?
just rest, Roshan. We've been cold before. We can be cold again.
But we could be warm.
Whatever,
Mr.
whatever,
Sean,
whatever
all of
makes it
us need
easier for Roshan to rest.
I don't think singing a little song will wear me out too much. And Roshan will sit on his bedroll and start singing his little tiny hut ditty.
And about 10 minutes passes, and you all have a warm tiny hut.
It is more comfortable. Thanks, Ro.
Great, thank you, Roshan. Now, bed with you.
We're here for you.
Should we use blindfolds or no?
I think after the hut is up, Roshan just kind of leans on the nearest person and says thanks to the group and gives everyone a little hug if they're not paranoid and standoffish. IDK.
I mean, I think everybody could accept
hug
a
is fine.
hug
Yeah.
if they were inclined.
I think Nana is capable of accepting a hug.
What's Roshan gonna do? Strangle you? He can't.
He
His arms are
can't.
so weak. You could break his
They're
arm
so
right now.
noodly.
Who could stop you?
I don't have to though. He's
You
not
don't.
turned. He's not crazy. It's fine.
But you know you could. So
I could. I feel
that
confident.
warms
So
you
that
this night.
yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
Is there anything else being provided, whether emotional, magical, or effect-wise, for Roshan sleeping this night, or you guys sleeping this night? Many of you are affected greatly by the world around you. And if you want to attempt to do something to help bolster you in some way to fight against this, you are welcome to. You just would have to figure out what that is. And you have to take into account it may not work. You're muted.
You are muted.
I think the one thing that Nana can kind of think to do that would provide some kind of like a sheen of comfort to her as she's trying to go to sleep might be to try the Boots of Familiar Ground enchantment. It's, if anybody wants to close their eyes while it's being cast so they can pretend that they're in a nice Gulunder forestscape in this horrible cave, that's fine. Just an enchantment to make the place look like the forests of Galunder, a place that is familiar, a place that is home, a place that she can feel like she can rest in, which nothing has felt like that so far.
Okay. The comforts of home. Anything else?
Ben he's feeling real bad right now.
Buddy.
He's gonna eat a piece of chalk, like hoping that like the calcium or
absorb
whatever kind of
Mm-hmm.
eases his stomach. Like
Mm.
he's got some chalk in his bag that he's been using to like make marks and stuff, and he's
Mm-hmm.
just gonna eat a piece of chalk, wash it down with a little bit of water, and hope that helps something. But other than that,
Medieval tongues.
he's gonna take the he's gonna take the Roshan approach of just trying to get the rest as early as possible and try and get a full night's rest if he can.
Yeah. We're tired.
Anybody else something for themselves or others? Anything that they want to add to this warm bubble this evening?
I'm sleeping in my cloak of protection
I am protected.
from these
The
humans.
end. Every human in this place fucking sucks.
That,
Well,
that
only-
sickle
Ben's an
is
elf.
right there.
I was about to say there's like one, but like
It's me.
everybody else close enough.
But they're humanoid,
humanoid,
so,
100%.
Mm.
Yeah.
Close enough. Fuck them.
We're next to Kel. The sickle's right here. The cloak's on. We're ready to go.
Okay. Keld, is there anything else you wanted to do or say or accomplish?
Do we have the ability to send a message?
Yeah. I can do that.
Would you mind sending a message to the grandpot?
Yeah. What do you want me to say?
I just want to let him know we're safe.
Been a couple nights. So, well, a night and a day.
He can tell us how far it is from Scotty's temple.
Yeah, we
If
could
he knows
mention
it
we're in
exists.
the temple.
Sure. Roshan will cast sending and say, "Hello, sir. We're all safe. We found a temple to Scotty to keep us safe tonight. We'd be dead, but for your kids. Thank you."
Thank you for reaching out. You have done me a kindness. I hope these walls keep you safe. Send them my love.
Roshan will reach out to Nix and Keld and just say he's glad we're safe and he sends his love.
Thanks, Rashawn.
Yeah. Just maybe not again tonight.
Anything else? Anything Anything of note? And are we wearing blindfolds? Are we setting up our tribute?
I think so.
That's
Might
Yeah,
as
like-
well.
Yeah.
smart. Yeah. We're still in Dem Woods. Just because we're under them doesn't mean we ain't in them.
Oh yeah, you see that the roots have fully penetrated this place. It is,
Yeah.
Hmm.
the woods
this
are
is
ever
Dem
present.
Woods.
If we're under the impression that Scotty exists and mines this place, do you think it's best to set out idols or some other creature here?
Perhaps we keep the idols facing away from Scotty's altar and toward the
Towards the hole.
entrance.
I'll do whatever you recommend. We need to rest.
Yeah. And hopefully unaccosted, and hopefully that'll do it.
Okay. All of you settle down to a night of sleep. A sleep where if you open your eyes, who knows what could happen if you remove your blindfold and perceive the world around you. Roshan, you lay down for the first time and you're like, I'm gonna sleep. Instead of I am going to sit up and read a book. I'm gonna sit up and look around. I'm gonna sit up and think. You are making the choice to lay down with a pillow and a blanket in this warm space with your friends all laying about the place around you. Do you think Roshan is comforted by the scene he is perceiving? Do you think there is some comfort in it?
I think there is a flicker. He's broken down some of his own barriers and can see the light that lies outside. So I do think there is comfort in this for him.
Okay. And you all lay down. You close your eyes, and the night begins to pass. And then you were woken by rumbling and the sound of small rocks falling and hitting the bubble. Do you look?
We're not supposed to.
I'm not the boss of you. I can't
I
stop
think-
you guys from
The
looking.
grandpot is.
I think Fen just
Can't
says
stop.
that Fen just from like out of his meditation and under his blindfold just says, we're not supposed to. And just like as a reassurance to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the rumbling eventually fades. And there is that overwhelming quiet that enters the space. And then a clatter, a thump. Something has come in from the entrance and landed amongst the coins. And as it moves its way around, the drag of its body, the rustle of coins, and then the scrape of something against the edge of the bubble as it makes its way around. Do you look?
About how far into our rest is this?
You are not at a full rest yet.
Okay.
You have this is like 2 hours in.
Fen's just gonna say the same thing again. We're not supposed to.
Okay. Drag. Scrape. And this goes on for about 45 minutes. Coming in and out of consciousness, trying to get a good night's sleep, the best you're gonna get, you know? You guys, you come to terms with maybe you're not getting the best night's rest, but a rest is what you need, you'll take it. And then eventually it is quiet. And eventually, Fen, your rest is done. Do you keep your blindfolds on as you wait?
Keep my blindfold on, but am listening carefully for the rustling and what direction it's coming from. If the bubble goes down, I want to know where the rustling thing is.
Okay. You are able to pinpoint the last spot that you heard it, and you are able to keep that in your mind. As time passes, and eventually, the night ends, notifying you by the bubble stopping Fen immediately. Blindfold off, hiya, you know, nothing's there. But
It was very
all
cool,
of you get a long rest.
What does that do for hit point recovery if we're happen to be getting them back halved?
Oh yeah, you have a fun thing going on. One second.
Yeah.
You got a fun thing going on. Let me just look at it real quick. Non-magical means. Okay. However many hit points you have to get to full, half that amount, you get that back. So if you need
Okay.
20 to get to full, you get 10. And then I need everybody to give me a wisdom saving throw. Nana, Keld, and Nyx, you will be rolling with advantage.
Ooh.
Is this one that we can get Keld's bonus for or not?
Well, if it's a saving throw, I suppose you can have it.
Nice.
I'll just go
Good
down the line
call.
to make my life easier. Nana, what do we got?
17.
Okay. Keld.
24.
Okay. Nyx.
28.
Fen.
30-20. Thank you, Keld.
Nice.
Roshan.
14.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
So okay. Nyx. Okay. Fen. And then Roshan. Okay. For people that it'll directly affect, know that everyone just kind of received a boon. That something good has happened, even though I may not address you directly. It is just something that you need not worry yourself with, because you don't have to change anything. Nana and Keld. Actually, I'll address everyone. Nana and Keld, you feel as if you were like kind of like on the edges of the darkness, you know, like that, ignoring the fact of your paranoia or any of those things, just that you know it is a half a skip and a jump to topple over the edge. Keld and Nana, you can feel that darkness is just like another step into the darkness is just an inch
Mm.
away.
Ooh.
And after having this long rest, both of you kind of wind back to the beginning of that path. Nana, you still have all of your paranoia perks, but your DC, the DC has gone back down to the lowest DC. So same for you, Keld. Your DC is all the way back at the bottom.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Nyx, you wake up and perceive your friends. And God, do they suck sometimes? Yeah. Do they make choices that upset you? Yes. Do you think they can be selfish? 100%. And you watched them rally, and you watched them come together and sleep in a huddle, and they're in the woods with you now. And you currently lose your phobia, and you also are back at the lowest DC.
Don't know why I was ever scared of them.
Yeah, it seems
I
silly
was
now.
so
They're
healthy.
pathetic.
I was almost at full health, had so many what was going on?
Yeah.
Mm.
Weird.
I don't know why I was worried. It's weird. I could crush them all like bugs. Nana like,
You see the sunbeam I
Fen.
can have?
Yeah, look at this. A bunch of moths fly in through the opening. Fen, you also wind back down that path to the lowest DC for your wisdom saves. And
Blah.
also, you wake up still feeling nauseous. Like that is still present, but maybe it was the chalk. You don't know, but you just, you're like, you don't feel that squirming under your skin and in your stomach.
Probably
So
wasn't worms.
you have lost that effect. You still have the nausea effect, but you no longer have the there are worms in my body effect. So you're like, okay, focusing. And then Roshan, for you, the DC goes down by 1 category, and it had only gone up by 1. So you're just now back at the beginning. So Roshan has really been avoiding the darkness like a champ. And
Huzzah.
Good.
as
You should.
as all of you wake now in this moment, all of you are back at the lowest DC, but you have spent a night in the brushwood. I need a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And I think I'll go down the line again because that just makes it easy for me. All of you, once again, are next to Keld. You get a +2. Let's start with Fen.
14. Really think my saving throw for wisdom should be better, but it is not.
Nana.
The dice love to tell a story. It's a nat 1.
Okay. Nyx.
Dirty 20.
Roshan.
12.
Okay. And Keld.
29. So wise.
You the real MVP, Keld.
Mm-hmm.
Or Nana.
The dice love to tell a story.
The paranoia and your startled state seems to be forming a habit, a compulsion, a need, something. You have to get your hands on something and you need to collect and gather. You are surrounded by so many coins, and it is the compulsion to take everything in this room. As the rest of you awake, have breakfast, and stare at the door depicting the giantess Scotty, and that is where we will stop for today. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you'd like to see more of that story, you can head over to youtube.com/thedicecult and watch all the past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, other D&D games, one-shots, Vampire the Masquerade. There's also, We're pretty cute and fun. At least our characters are. If you head over to Instagram at in the hit. Hey guys, sorry, I'm just so excited about what just happened. I'm just so excited about it. If you head over to Instagram at Backs of Gods, you can get to see beautiful pictures. I'm going to post one of Russ soon. It's going to be very exciting. If you want to check that out, you can see pictures of the rest of the party. If you want to check us out, we are at Backs of Gods. If you want to check all of us out, we are at the Dice Cult. If you follow the link below and the link in the chat, you can get some beautiful dice that, as you can see, are interested only in telling a story. And we appreciate that every day. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you that story, and we will be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.